We have seen so far how we can test our code to ensure that it is behaving the way we expect it to. Testing is an important part of writing good programs. Now we are going to look at applying what we have learnt to some example programs, seeing how we could test them to find any bugs or errors. The first program that we will look at calculates the sum of a set of numbers, in this case 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, all the way until we reach the value of a variable n, including n. If the variable n is negative, the sum will be 0. This is a very simple calculation, but one that is used frequently in simple data analysis, perhaps calculating the total number of products sold in a day or the number of clients we have visited. Let's pause for a second to test our program and to consider what we would expect the output to be if n equals 4. To define a test case, we need to have an input or given condition. In this case, the condition is that n equals 4, and we need to have an expected output. In this case, we expect the output to be 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. This gives us the outcome of 10. If we run our program, we should expect the number displayed to be 10. Let's see if this is the case. Correct. This means that our test case has passed. Another test case for our program will be n equals to 10. If we work through this test case, then the output of 0 plus 1 plus 2 and so on until we reach 10 will be 55. Let's see if this is the case. Again, correct. This test case has passed. What if our value for n is less than 0? Let's say we choose the value -3. What output should we expect? That's right, we should get an output of 0. Let's test our program using n equals to -3. The number displayed is 0, which is what we expected, and our test case has passed. How many more tests do we need? In the previous video, we said that we need at least enough test cases to cover all possible values of the program's input. If we do this, then we can be reasonably confident that our program works as expected. For our program, there are only 3 possible input categories: values less than 0, for which the sum should be 0, values greater than 0, for which the output should be the sum of all elements up to that number, including it, and the number 0, where the output should be 0. Let's try another testing example. This program, when given a variable a, will compute the square of a if a is smaller than or equal to 10, and will double the value of a otherwise. We can set up the test cases to a program without actually having to look in detail at the code. In this program, there are 3 categories which will cover all possible values of the program input: those smaller than 10, equal to 10, and greater than 10. The code for this program looks like this. In our first test case, we will pick a number smaller than 10, say 8. The result of the program should be 64 because 8 times 8 is 64. In our second test case, we pick the value 10. The result should be 100 because 10 times 10 is 100. In our third test case, we pick the value 12. The result should be 24 given 12 times 2. We then test each of these cases in our program. In the first case, n is 8. If we run our program, we get 64. Correct. This matches our expected output. The next case, n is 10. Let's run our program, and again, this test case is passed. In the last case, n equals 12. We run our program. Correct. The last test case passes, and we can be confident that our program works as expected.